Okay, we'll call the Public Works, Park, Rec, and Railroad Committee meeting to order. First thing, we need a motion to approve the minutes of prior. Moved by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Sokol. All in favor? Aye. Carried. Okay, with that, Tim, would you like to, you want me to?
Sure. First up would be Justin Conyers, Saratoga.
Before you start, Justin, I just want to personally say congratulations on...
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we had our baby June 8th. His name's Colin Michael. Cute little guy, so we're very happy. And he's sleeping about 6 or 7 hours each night, so totally manageable. I'm very proud of him. Okay, so... let's see, we've been working on quite a bit over the last couple of months since I last spoke with you. One of the biggest thing we have is the 2018 operations plan. Last Tuesday, we had our Director of Marketing in town, and we had meetings all day with myself and Anna, and we were going over what the operations plan would look like for next year. We expect to have that proposal completed by the end of this month, certainly by early August. And our plan is to have it, tickets up for sale by late August. Certainly well ahead of what we did this year, so we know we're a little late. Another product that we offer that we're taking a hard look at is Polar Express. We do Polar Express in 8 or 9 locations across the country, and in most of those, well, all of those other locations except the SNC, we do 3 to 4 trips per day, and actually in one place down in Texas we do 5. At the SNC, we have a little bit of a constraint, being that we have to operate over 1 mile of Canadian Pacific's tracks down in Saratoga. They have always put a restriction that we can only do 2 trains per night. So you can imagine, if you could double your amount of trips each night with a successful product like Polar Express, you can really increase your ridership and, of course, your income. So we're looking at moving Polar Express to one of 2 locations that would put the product entirely on track that we have control over, so that we could increase the ridership. I would suspect probably by my update in August, I will be able to give you which one of the 2 locations we have chosen. One of the locations we're waiting for a proposal on. So that's about all I can say about that. But we'll increase the amount of runs, and the projected volume for the increase in runs would be about 36,000 passengers during the 6-week operating plan. Freight. We're working on 2 new freight contracts. One contract would start next year if it comes to fruition next spring. It would involve 40,000 tons of sand, construction sand, going from North Creek to Hudson, New York, where it would be combined with other materials for concrete production. So I'll continue to update you on that as it progresses. The other contract that we're working on is a small contract, which would be approximately 1 carload per month coming onto our line. So we've got outbound loads and we've got inbound loads. I just think it's very important for you guys to hear that, stone is not the only commodity that we have the opportunity to haul on our line. A couple of little side notes. The SNC donated $499.63 to the Hadley Business Association for their new community sign, which is located on the corner of Rockwell and, help me out here, where the general store is, Rockwell and... Sunnyside, right there on the corner by the train station.
County Route 4.
Stony Creek Road.
County Route, yes, that's what it is, County Route 4. Yep.
Stony Creek Road?
So we said that we would donate $500 to them, or the amount of materials that it would be up to $500, which ended up being $499.63. The other little side note that I have is we have an opening on the railroad that we need to fill for a chef position. The the position is posted, but I figured I would just relay that information to everybody here. The position pays $18 an hour, and they could start immediately. So,
That's you.
that's all I've got.
Okay, any questions from the committee? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Craig.
Oh, the sand's coming out of...
Hands coming out of town of Johnsburg.
No show, I didn't Craig Cohen.
Nearby.
Talking about
I'm sorry?
Okay.
It could, yes.
How's the rail riders? I know it's not on our section of that.
So, I think it would probably be advantageous to bring Rob Hart here at some point to give him an update, since that's his business product, not ours, but I think it would be safe enough for me to say they did start on the weekend after July 4th weekend, and my understanding of their reservations is that they've had very few open seats for their first couple of weekends. They're moving up in stages, and probably by August they'll be running 4 trips a day, 7 days a week. But it's going well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the only item I have today is Dan Lewis sent us another check for $1,800. He didn't say why, he just sent us a check.
We'll come back to that. I thought we had...
Oh, okay. Other than that, go to Warrensburg Bike Rally.
Does somebody want to move that, to accept, okay, motion by Supervisor Gerard, second by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried.
Mr. Zibro was gonna come speak to us today. He didn't, it was a no-show, I don't know why. I tried calling him while I was in the hallway, so turn it over to Mr. Tennyson.
I did, Mr. Zipro came to the office right after the bike rally. Again, he had a great year, and sent us a letter, and I think the letter might have gone to the full board too. I don't know if it went to you, Amanda, but I'll make sure you get it. But really thanking, Tim and some of the staff at DPW for supporting him this year, and the improvements and increased vendors and new vendors that he's bringing in. I think one or 2 months ago, the board had authorized a 3-year extension on his lease of the fairgrounds for those 2 weeks that he has the bike rally. He did convey to me that he is still struggling with some of the larger vendors who want a longer-term commitment, and they know that if they're going to commit to that rally, they're going to invest some in their displays, and also it may prevent them from doing other rallies once they leave those rallies. So he wanted to convey to the board that he's still struggling bringing in some of those bigger vendors, and wants us to reconsider even a longer term. Now, we do have this annual agreement with him. It does allow us to terminate it. I think it even gives authority to me to terminate it based on incidents or concerns or anything else. But that longer-term commitment would help him recruit larger vendors to the event. So he was going to come today, and something came up for him, but perhaps he can come back at a future event. I don't think, or a future meeting. I don't think there's anything real urgent right this today for us to consider, but I'll ask that he come back again, and he's here for the summer and winters down in Florida, and generates business down there while he's down there over the winter. So
Okay.
that's what he was coming for.
I also have, at this point, I want to let our county attorney speak about communications with the park agency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Shortly after after you authorized and we were working on the agreement with the glamping tour, we got a call from enforcement staff, the Adirondack Park Agency, saying, hey, you're running an unpermitted private campground at the fairground. You've been doing it for a number of years. Well, that's crazy. We're not a private entity. Well, under the Park Association regulations and laws, we are. So if we have more than about 8 people stay there, eight-person nights a year, it's a campground, and it's a private campground. So the park agency is not interested in doing any enforcement against us. They said, look, you are a municipality, we're going to work with you. They proposed a consent order to solve it this year, and as long as we submit an application for a permit by next spring, and either discontinue it if we don't apply or don't get the permit, or we get the permit, then we'll be okay. What I've presented to you, Ben Botello, the new Assistant County Attorney, has spent a bunch of time researching the regs and the laws and looking at the original settlement agreement they proposed. He's made some additional proposals, some changes to it to protect us a little bit more, and we are comfortable with this format. I'd like authority of the committee to take it to the board to have the chairman sign it so that we can resolve it for this year, and Ben's working on the application.
Moved by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Gerard. I just have one question that I didn't get a chance to really review it, but are there any changes in the current structure of or layout of the glamping that need to be addressed under these terms?
No, he has a smaller number in here, but that was what we originally had suspected, so we'll work with Mr. Berth at the park agency
Okay.
to make sure that that's accurate. But as I understand it now, they're aware, they have investigated the operation, and I'm not aware of any concerns they have at this point.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing I have is photos of our new butterfly exhibit at Up Yonder Farm. It was completed last week. It's a 16 by 30 structure. Final cost ended up being $9,900. We went about $400 over what we originally estimated, but we had a grant from Walmart that helped us fulfill that. And on the very last page, I have our new raceways that we installed. Cost of those were $16,000, and the original ones I built back in '97, and they were just handcrafted plywood and fiberglass. So we were able to split up our fish, get the old out and the new in less than 4 days, and now they all got a new home.
So those raceways are for hatchlings at the hatchery.
Correct. Every cycle we do, they go from incubator to raceways to our tanks to the rearing ponds. So it's a big upgrade for us. I mean, it's a lot neater, cleaner, no more leaks. It's a good job well done. That's all I have.
Did you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll move into the DPW.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. The first item is a new contract for tree removal services. This is a term contract. We normally do this contract under my authority, but because we've been exceeding the threshold in which I have authority to enter to, we did a full bid.
I'm reading that, I didn't get it. Did you move that, Mr. Gerard, or were you scratching your head?
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Moved by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Gerard. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
On page 8 is a request to amend budget. This is for an insurance recovery for a vehicle that hit guide rail on Haviland Road.
Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Gerard. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
On pages 11, 12, and 13 are requests to transfer. These are for various road projects. The first one is for salaries, as we allocate salaries against the road project. On page 12 and 13 is request to move money between various closed projects and Glen Athol Road project. We expanded the scope a little bit after this winter and are doing an additional 0.2 of a mile of that road with a reconstruction.
Move it. Moved by Supervisor Gerard, second by Supervisor Sokol. Any discussion?
See, in February, we just got some state funding now coming
Yeah.
off the road. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good
About
work.
time all our chirping
Yes.
hopefully helped.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
On page 14 is a request for an intent to backfill. This is for a building maintenance mechanic. This is a position that the board had, or the committee had authorized just a few months ago. We filled the position with one of our day crew personnel. He took that promotion, and then he actually lateraled back to the day crew, so we have that vacancy open again at Parks and Recs. This is a position we just created this year with the elimination of Tim Benway's former position as the facilities manager.
Someone like to move that? Supervisor Frazier? Sean the second. Supervisor Sokol? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
On the next page is a request for backfill of a motor equipment operator light position in my highway division. This is for individual who resigned and took another position with a federal agency. This is a CDL equipment operator position.
Hold it. Okay, moved by Supervisor Gerard, seconded by Supervisor Sokol. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Okay, I have no referral items. On page 16 is a summary of the household hazardous waste collection days. You see on page 16 some of the quantities that we collected, and then you'll see on page 17 the cost, those quantities summarized, and then the total cost of $19,384.20. We'll be submitting the documentation to DEC and getting a reimbursement of 50% of that, as we anticipated. DEC's indicated that they're still working on 2016 reimbursements, so I don't anticipate getting that revenue back until much later in the year. On page, a few more things I wanted to talk about, pass around some pictures of county paving projects. Schroon River Road in Chester, Valley Road in Thurman, Dartmouth Road and Stone Creek are all some recent completed projects, minus the striping, which our striping contractor will be back in later this summer. And then I also have some county bridge work projects. These are before and afters of Millwood Bridge, before and after project of a rehab there. And then also we assessed the bike path bridges. We've got 6 bike path bridges that we went through, and we used our highway forces to do some bridge work on those as well. So that's a Bloody Pond Road, or one near Bloody Pond Road, I think. One more photo is Bay Road. So if you've been down Bay Road, you've obviously seen the changes. That was a federal aid project that was constructed by contract at a cost of $940,000, but that project is now complete.
I want to tag on to what Supervisor Thomas and Garrity had said at the board meeting. The paving crew has really, this year, has done an exceptional job on our roads. They did a paving job for the town of Horicon. They did an excellent job, worked very well with the town employees. Seems like they really want to produce a good product, and I just want to commend them on doing the job that they're doing.
I'll concur on that Schroon River Road on Chester. Looks real nice as well. So pass those compliments on to your crews. The South Horicon Bridge, is that part of your report there? How's that coming?
That one is a federal aid project, so that one will be advancing as well here. Okay, the next item is request from the county administrator's office to bring the committee a in-code transfer. We normally will transfer in-code if it's a .4 to a .4, we transfer it in-code without board approval, but that's part of the summary that the county administrator's office reports on. This recent one was, we were asked to bring it to committee.
Okay, that was moved by Supervisor Sokol, seconded by Supervisor Gerard. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Okay, and also attached to your agenda is the overtime report and also fuel usage reports. That's all I have.
Okay, is there anybody?
For you who were at the board meeting, I stated that the railroad had paid the county, and they had paid the county. I don't know why Mike said they hadn't received the money. They did receive money before the board meeting. problem is the railroad still owes us a small balance of money, so I'll reach out to Mr. Ellis. They had sent the check. I had a copy of the check, and I don't know why the treasurer said that they didn't receive the money. They had received the money, so just a mistake on the treasurer's part, I guess.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes. We have it, and we've done a bunch of internal training with it, and we had the actual vendor that we purchased the equipment from come and do some training, and it's been in use. Great asset. Already it's proving that it's going to be a great asset for us. I think it's a 35-foot off the top. It's either 35 or 40, but I think it's 35.
Okay, is there anything else? We're adjourned.